Hey, I really don't know what's going on with you, but I just want to just give you a heads up that I'm about to really disappear on you. You feel me? I'm not going to be playing these games with you at all, at all. So I don't know. You think you silent treating me, and you think I'm gonna be nah. You'll have a rude awakening. You'll just have silence. And ain't nobody threatening you, and I ain't trying to go back and forth with no woman. You know what I'm saying? I'm telling you, I ain't got no time for no motherfucking games. Where my life is at right now, I don't have no time for no games, baby girl. Me and you could be mad, I could have a spat, we could have whatever. Then after that, you better get on your job. That's really, that's all it is. Cause you got me on my job. Nah, it ain't never gonna work like that over here. You know what I'm saying? I was trying not to leave this message, but you have left me no choice. So either you go in the direction of like moving on and shit like that, or you like just like have me just keep moving. Ain't no threat, I'm just being clear. I can't do this with you every time you get upset.
Yo, let me find out that Diddy thinks he's Iceberg Slim. Hey yo, thanks for tuning in to The Source, your source for celebrity news. Check this out. By now you already know that for the last few days, Jane Doe has been up on the stand in the Diddy trial. And as soon as she got up on that stand, YouTubers were counting down to the break so that they could make videos and dox this chick. Some YouTubers, who will remain nameless, did it on purpose. But then other YouTubers, who shall also remain nameless, dropped this chick's name and then were like, oops, my bad. You know, I'm all about advocating for women who have suffered SA, and I would never dox anyone. But here's her name. Now, I'm sitting over here watching all of this go down, and I'm thinking to myself, did any one of you grimy mothercuffers even give a second thought to the fact that this woman has a child? No, of course not, because as long as you can get 200,000 views, who cares? Now, Cassie's a little different because Cassie put her own name out there and she wanted to tell her story. But if a woman says I was a victim and I don't want my name out there, I want to remain anonymous, then don't put a name out there. And I gotta tell you, there were a few YouTubers that I had a little respect for before this trial, but now I'm sitting over here looking at them with the side eye.
The prosecutor just told on y'all for exposing Jane's identity, and the feds are watching y'all. Y'all always say the feds watching. They watching y'all for real. They are screen recording your videos, your YouTubes, your TikToks, your Instagram, your ads, your Facebook. They are screen recording everything. Then somebody had the audacity to post this lady's driver's license according to her lawyer. The lawyer got up and asked about that. That's doxing her. So they were going to look into this as well, and they're going to give this information over to the judge. Listen, I understand don't need and want to go viral and wanting people to watch your videos, but don't end up on the other side of it. Don't be the one that we're talking about next, because if they arrest you or sue you, we're going to cover it. I'm going to read the documents on my video. I'm going to discuss it, and we're going to cover your entire trial.
And I know, somebody's going to come in the comment section like, nah, Source, because it's not only the YouTubers. 50 Cent said, stop right there. Let me tell you something. If it is who 50 Cent says it is, then that was a sucker move. And if it wasn't who 50 Cent says it is, then that was also a sucker move. Because if that's your baby mama, then why would you want to put that out there? You have a kid together. But if it isn't his baby mama, then why would you want us to think that it is? See, at some point, you got to put all of that pettiness aside. And you have to realize that it's not all about you. Sometimes it's about your kids. Anyhow, Jane Doe says that she met Diddy because Diddy was actually dating a homegirl. And one time they were all hanging out on his yacht. And she got up to go to the bathroom. And when she was coming from the bathroom, Diddy was passing her in the hallway and he was like, yo, what's up with you though? I'm feeling you. And she was like, I'm feeling you too, but you dating my homegirl. Can we say wrong answer? Alright, so Jane Doe goes on to say that her homegirl ends up getting married to somebody else. So she decides, now I can mess with Diddy. Jane Doe went on to say that her and Diddy's first date was in a hotel and it lasted 5 days. Alright, I don't know how to tell you this, but if a dude takes you to a hotel on your first date, it's not a date. This chick didn't even say that Diddy took her to dinner and then they ended up at a hotel. She said that the date was at the hotel. I am done. Alright, so her and Diddy end up going to Turks and Caicos for 9 days and then they continue their little vacation for another 6 days in the Bahamas. Now, at this point, I'm thinking to myself, who in the heck is raising both of your kids? Anyhow, the kids are at home, they're fending for themselves, they're eating Pop-Tarts, but who cares? Because Diddy and this chick are on a beach. Anyhow, she goes on to say that while they were on the beach, she fell in love with Diddy because it was so amazing. And I mean, the way this chick was talking, you'd have thought that P. Diddy invented passion. Anyhow, even though things couldn't get any better, Diddy was like, I have a way to make it better. And he gave her some E. The next thing you know, she says that she was running down the beach screaming, throwing sand every which way, and Diddy's handlers, including KK, had to come get her and put her in a shower to cool her off. But, just so you know, that little incident where Diddy gave her something that had her going cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs on the beach wasn't enough to extinguish the love that they had developed for one another in under 2 weeks. Anyhow, over the next few days, Diddy keeps giving his chick the Cocoa Puffs. And one night, they're laying down and they're getting intimate and they're watching X-rated films. And while they're watching the films, Diddy's like, do you like what you see? And she's like, yeah, baby. Next thing you know, this dude's on the phone calling up the dude from the film. From that day forward, Diddy has this chick dressed up like a 304 in 7-inch stilettos, baby oiled up doing freak-offs with every Tom, Dick, and Harry from Atlanta to New York to LA like it's the triangular slave trade. She also said that during their relationship, Diddy made her into a mule and had her transporting illegal Tic Tacs on flights across the country like she was Big Meech. Similar to Cassie, Jane Doe said that it became a job, and that sometimes Diddy would make her dance with up to 3 to 4 partners back to back without protection for up to 30 hours. But she did what he wanted because once again, she wanted to please her man and she knew that this was his fantasy. Now, Jane Doe says that she didn't want to do the freak-offs, but she did them because she was so in love with Diddy that she wanted to please him. Over the next few years, her and Diddy entered into a love contract that he proposed, and Diddy agreed to pay her a monthly stipend of $10,000 a month. She said that she originally asked for $15,000, but Diddy bargained her down. With the $10,000, she purchased a house in LA to be closer to the love of her life. But after a while, she grew tired of the hotel nights and she told Diddy in person and in writing that she didn't want to do the freak-offs anymore and that she only wanted to be with him. Unfortunately, despite her objections, Diddy either ignored her or told her that they could break up. He also forewarned her that she needed to be very clear that he wasn't going to pay $10,000 a month for a house for a woman that he wasn't in a relationship with. Therefore, Jane Doe said that she had no choice but to continue being intimate with the men who she referred to as entertainers, who she also said was sometimes funky because Diddy was paying for her home. Alright, so that's just a brief synopsis of the testimony because, I swear, P. Diddy's not getting ready to have me on YouTube narrating a XXX video every day. I mean, real talk, at this point I feel like the background music to this show and every other YouTube show that's covering Diddy should be bow chicka bow wow. I mean, for real, even Jamie Foxx thinks that Diddy's nasty.
And Diddy crazy, huh? I don't know if he's going to jail, but he's a nasty. Am I right? Especially for occupants or white people, yeah, it's cool, but black people like that was our hero. Oh, that got baby on, boy. And then the you know what I'm talking about. Oh, that's right. It's the Henry. My bad. I'm sorry. Why you so nasty, Diddy? That was nasty. Take that. That makes you listen to that differently now. Take that. What are we taking? Because I don't want to hear that.
Can I ask a question?
No, for the black people in here, you know how that hurts us. Because Diddy was, it's all about the Benjamin, you know what I'm saying? That was our whole culture. Now it's all about the baby oil.
Okay, so 1, Diddy was never the whole culture. And 2, I know, a whole lot of y'all out there are like, yo, Jamie Foxx is full of it because Jamie is just as freaky as Diddy. You know something? Now that I'm hearing just how freaky Diddy actually is, I really don't think that Jamie is as freaky as Diddy, especially since Super Beep once said that Jamie Foxx is one of the only dudes in Hollywood and in hip-hop that ever turned her down.
I gotta be honest with you. Corinne is very pretty.
Yeah.
And she threw me off.
Right.
But I knew something was wrong because why is this pretty black girl all on me right now?
I was not so on you.
Yes,
nigga.
you were. Don't sleep. Use a line ass. I can see it in your weave. She was on my ass like Starsky and Hutch getting back to the crib.
Wow. I was in your car. Was I in your car?
No, you weren't.
Oh, you took me to my car.
Anyway, we get back to the crib, and I said, look at this beautiful black girl that I'm about to... And just as I asked you who you were, you said you wrote the book Video Vixen.
And what happened?
And that's when I started putting all my clothes back on.
So, as you can see, even though Jamie is a little out there too, at least Jamie discriminates a little bit. Anyhow, that's not what we're here to talk about. Let's get back to the trial. As I'm listening to Jane Doe give her testimony, I'm listening, and I'm waiting for the point where Diddy forces her to do something. And then I'm waiting for the point where like Diddy kidnaps her. And then I'm waiting for the point where like Diddy throws her off the rail of a balcony and forces her to do these freak-offs. But she never said it. Will she say it on Monday? Maybe. But she didn't say it on Friday, and we're dealing with the present. Anyhow, she says that the reason why she did these freak-offs is because she was so in love with Diddy, and he asked her to do them, so she did it to please him. Alright, so this is going to bring us to a very uncomfortable discussion, and for the record, I want to make sure that everybody's clear that this discussion is only about Jane Doe and has nothing to do with Cassie Ventura, because Cassie's situation is similar, but totally different. The question is, when does female accountability come in? And what I mean by that is this. When Diddy offered her more illegal Tic Tacs after the incident on the beach, we was the no, I don't want to do that, because it made me lose myself in all my inhibitions the first time, and I prefer to be lucid and in control. When Diddy asked her to bring a stranger into the relationship, where was the no? I'm not doing that. That's not how I get down. And if that's your thing, you're gonna have to go find somebody else, you freaky mother cuffer. When Diddy asked her to stop working and offered to give her $10K a month, where was the no can do, buddy? Cause I'm a mother and a grown behind woman with responsibilities, and I'm not gonna put the security and the welfare of me and my child in the hands of a man that I just started dating. When Diddy asked her to get freaky without protection, where was the hell no? That's nasty. I don't know that dude, you sleaze bucket. And the door slamming as she walked out the house. And when Diddy said that he wouldn't pay her rent anymore, where was the that's fine? Cause I was fine before I met you, and I'ma be fine after I know you. See, if Jane Doe would have said that Diddy was holding something over her head aside from the rent money, like Cassie, I wouldn't be asking these questions, but she said that she consented to the debauchery because she wanted to please him. And to me, her testimony was starting to sound like an episode of For My Man. You know that show where a whole bunch of women are in jail right now because they were so mesmerized by their men that they did anything that those men asked them to do.
Our first love always holds a special place in our hearts.
There's something about that spark when that puppy love becomes a little bit more mature.
He was her first love. This was a person she felt like she was going to spend the rest of her life with.
But there's a fine line between puppy love and blind obedience.
He had all the control in this relationship.
What happens when following your heart leads you past the point of no return? When you've been dreaming of the high life, the promise of money and fame can be intoxicating.
She was aspiring to be a model and an actress.
He portrayed himself as being this actor and this rapper that was giving back to the community. She was totally just obsessed with him.
But if it's all a facade, where do you run to when the avalanche starts? Who pays for the destruction that ensues?
He didn't want to get his hands dirty.
After it happened, he ended up ghosting her.
She let her love for her man get in the way of good and evil.
This is time that she'll never ever get back, and it's all because she decided to help her men.
Life is anything but warm for Florida girl Kaisha Pugh, until she meets a man who becomes the sunshine she's been dreaming of.
Oh, she fell for him very hard. His looks and charm and his streetwise ways.
But when money runs low, Keisha winds up party to a fiery scheme that inevitably goes up in flames.
Oh my God! They beat her, they put her on fire, and they left.
When two people get together and neither one have a regard for human life, well, that's a match made in heaven.
Listen, I be sitting here binge watching those shows, but my point is that a lot of women out there do a lot of dumb things for their man. For example, remember how Tim Norman from over there at Sweetie Pie's had some young chick that he met at the club so turned out that she helped him to murk his nephew?
Y'all, I just got through watching this documentary, For My Man. I know y'all know that one, right? So, Andre, his nephew, y'all know who Sweetie Pie is, right? This man Tim then conspired a whole for this boy right here. And this is family, this is blood, this is nephew. Now, I done got these 4 pictures or whatever, so y'all can know who I'm talking about, when I'm talking about him, and how I'm talking about him. Tim, his uncle, conspired this whole plan to get him murdered for some insurance money. If y'all don't believe me, go on Philo and watch For My Man, episode 7, season 8. Terica, the stripper, her right here. He was messing with her. He a whole married man, got kids, all type of stuff. He then convinced her to set him up. He started telling her what to text him, trying to see if he like her, so he can get that location when it was time. Now he also then hired him. He's the killer. He's the conspirer. Y'all following me? He paid him $5,000 to his nephew. He also took out 5 insurance policies out on his nephew. He was tricking with her. He got close to her. They had this situationship going on. So at this point, she was doing anything for her man. This goofball Jamal got himself convicted. His brother called him from jail. He's telling his brother, oh, I just got 5 bands for murking woo out the band. Said the boy name. And these calls are recorded. Police picked up on the call. And that's how they found out he was the conspirer, because this was his whole plan. It's just funny how God works in mysterious ways, because this was a cold case for a long time. And I believe he got arrested in 2022. Tim got arrested in 2022. And that's when he was charged for conspiring the murder of his nephew, Andre.
Okay, so here's where I'm going with this. If you're a woman and you start dating a man, and one night he looks at you in your eyes and he's like, baby, you know I love you, but I'm gonna need you to prove that you love me too. And then he asks you to do some nonsense, like rob a bank for him, hook up with 4 entertainers with no protection, or pick up a piece of used gum off the sidewalk in New York and chew it, and you do it. But he doesn't physically threaten you, blackmail you, or pull a switch out on you. He simply asks you, and you do what he asks you to do because you love him so much that you want to please him and you know that's his fantasy. Then whose fault is that? In other words, at what point, absent of force, blackmail, or the threat of violence, does a situation shift from a grown woman making bad decisions to a man being guilty of coercion if she agreed to do what he asked her to do because she loved him so much and wanted to please him? Now, just so we're clear, Jane Doe hasn't finished giving her testimony, so she might drop some major bombs on Monday that add further context to this situation and how the diddler manipulates women. So I'm in no way saying or insinuating that she's not a victim, but based on her testimony from Thursday and Friday, these are just some of the thoughts that crossed my mind, and I wanted to discuss this question of female accountability with all of y'all to see what everybody out there is thinking. And I also hope that on Monday, the prosecution does a much better job at focusing their questions to allow Jane Doe the opportunity to clearly explain how Diddy allegedly coerced and manipulated her via fraud during the course of their relationship. Because remember, it's not Jane Doe's job to prove anything, it's the prosecution's job. And when court let out on Friday, a lot of people were like, we ain't buying it.
Is not a victim. I'm gonna go ahead and say it now. Allegedly, it's baby mama. Okay, that's the Jane Doe who testified. He signed a contract to do freak-offs in exchange for him to pay her $10,000 rent and help her get furniture. Ain't no way, form, and fashion she felt pressured, because she stated when she wanted to leave, he said, okay, I'm not gonna pay your rent. Oh, she felt pressured. You wanted to leave, you think he's still gonna pay your rent if you agreed to do freak-offs and you're not doing no more freak-offs? That's not pressuring you, that's just the exit in the contract. That was you who decided to stay because you wanted to live lavish. You wanted him to pay that $10,000 rent. You knew what it came with. You were not a victim.
So anyway, we are getting to Jane Doe, and I'm going to tell you why I'm mad. I am angry. I am so mad. Yeah, this is a serious matter, but are they kidding me? Here's why I'm mad. Here's why I'm mad. As of now, I'm going to tell you this. None of the testimony elicited today makes her any type of a victim. Stupid, yes. Victim, no. And I'm so angry. I'm listening. Okay, I'm angry with her on like a personal matter. Just like, how could you be so dumb? to get your butt in the situation. By that, I mean, everyone knows that Diddy loves to date the former women who have been with his, nemesis, his arch nemesis, right? He hated Tupac. He now has a kid with Tupac's ex-girlfriend, Sarah Chapman. It was argued that at one point he messed with Faith. I don't know how true that is, but he consistently will go after the women of his arch nemesis. And on the stand today, that's what Jane testified to. More specifically, Jane, you really think this man liked you? No. He liked knowing that he knocked down his nemesis baby mama. And you're dumb enough to fall for it. Now, hold on. So here's what happened. Jane Doe takes the stand. I'm telling you why I think she is full of ish. By full of ish, I do not. Let me clarify. I don't think she's lying. She's telling the truth about what she's talking about. But what she is talking about is not S trafficking. And as of now, that's my understanding of what she has been put on the stand to talk about. Now, mind you, Jane is allegedly victim 2. Gina is victim 3. We still don't know where Gina is. Victim 3 is gone. But overall, why I'm mad at Jane is because this testimony the old girl done put in that's allegedly supposed to support coercion and S trafficking, I think it's making a mockery of what Cassie had to go through. This girl really sat up there and said that she felt pressure to have to do to these S workers because Diddy was paying her rent. Girl, well, how about you get a job like the rest of us? Get a job. She literally said her 2 sources of income was child support from her baby daddy and the allowance Diddy was giving her. Excuse me, ma'am. You are a whole grown woman.
All right, so let me say this once again. Jane Doe's not finished testifying, so we have to listen to her whole story. And just because her story isn't the same as Cassie's story, and we were over here sort of asking a few critical thinking questions, that does not mean that she wasn't a victim. I mean, real talk, I can't say that enough. And really quick, before I end this video, let me do some house cleaning. I'm gonna be gone for about 10 days starting Wednesday. Gotta take care of some personal business. And because my homeboy Celebs from over there at Celeb Source is such a true blue and loyal friend, he's gonna be covering me on this channel. So if you could do me a favor and give Celebs mad love and respect in my absence, I would greatly appreciate it. Listen, let me know what you think about everything that we discussed in today's video. And while you're down there leaving a comment, be sure to like and subscribe to the channel and share this video with your friends. Hey yo, thanks for tuning in to The Source, your source for celebrity news. Peace.